Imagine being so famous that the entire country knows your name. Your songs top the charts for over a decade. You're not just a pop star, you're a symbol of an era. But behind the glitter and glamour, your hearing starts to disappear. And eventually, you can only hear from one ear. Would you give up? This is the story of Ayumi Hamasaki, the Empress of J-pop, who refused to quit even when her world turned silent. Chapter 1. The Lonely Girl from Fukuoka. Ayumi Hamasaki was born on the 2nd of October, 1978, in Fukuoka, Japan. Her parents divorced when she was young, and she was raised mainly by her mother and grandmother. From the beginning, Ayumi felt different. She wasn't especially interested in school, and she didn't enjoy being told what to do. But she did love fashion. She loved expressing herself. At just 7 years old, she began modeling for local magazines. By 14, she moved to Tokyo alone to chase a dream. But it wasn't music at first. Ayumi tried acting and modeling, and she even appeared in some television shows and B-movies. She struggled. Her looks were criticized. She was told she was too short, too rebellious, and not obedient enough. In truth, she hated the entertainment industry. She felt misunderstood. She started spending more time in clubs than on set. She was about to give up until she met someone who would change everything. Chapter 2. The Producer Who Saw a Star. That someone was Max Matsuura, a record producer from Avex Trax. One night, he saw Ayumi at a club and was immediately drawn to her personality. He asked her to sing for him. She refused. Why? Because Ayumi didn't think of herself as a singer. She didn't trust anyone from the industry. But Matsuura didn't give up. He sent her to New York to train her voice. That time abroad changed Ayumi. She studied hard. She improved. More importantly, she started writing. Not just lyrics, but thoughts, emotions, fears, dreams. She returned to Japan in 1998, and shortly after, she released her debut single, Poker Face. It didn't become a mega hit, but something was happening. Chapter 3. Becoming the Empress of J-pop. Ayumi's first album, A Song for Times, was released in 1999. Surprisingly, it debuted at number 1 on the Oricon charts. Her lyrics raw, personal, emotional, connected with a generation of young Japanese who felt lost in a fast-changing society. She wasn't just another manufactured pop idol. She wrote her own lyrics. She controlled her fashion. She shaped her image. And the audience loved it. Over the next 5 years, Ayumi became the biggest name in Japanese music. Albums like Love Appears, Duty, I Am, and Rainbow sold millions. Her concerts were sold out. Her music videos became iconic, and her fashion flashy, unique, sometimes strange, turned into trends. She was everywhere, but fame has a price. Chapter 4. Deaf in One Ear. In 2000, Ayumi began to notice something strange. After live performances, her hearing would become muffled. She suffered from tinnitus, a ringing in the ears, and gradually, The hearing in her left ear began to fade. Doctors warned her, "Stop performing, or you'll lose your hearing completely." She ignored them. Music was her life, and she wouldn't stop. By 2008, she made a shocking announcement. She had become completely deaf in her left ear. Fans feared she would retire. But Ayumi had other plans. Chapter 5: Reinvention and Resistance. Instead of stepping back, Ayumi kept pushing. She adapted her performances to rely on one ear. She released new albums, and while they didn't reach the same sales heights as before, her artistry deepened. Her lyrics became darker, more philosophical. She talked openly about loneliness, pain, and identity. She tried new musical styles: rock, trance, ballads, even dubstep. Her fan base changed. Some of her early fans drifted away, but new, more mature fans took their place. People admired her not just as a pop star, but as a survivor. In the 2010s, even as younger idols dominated the charts, Ayumi remained a queen on stage. Her live shows were legendary, filled with fireworks, costume changes, and emotional monologues. Chapter 6: Scandals, Breakups, and Public Pressure. Being Ayumi Hamasaki wasn't easy. She had several public relationships that became tabloid gossip. She married an Austrian model in 2011 and divorced a year later. She later remarried an American medical student and divorced again. The Japanese media criticized her looks, her age, her body, her choices. Online trolls called her a has-been, but Ayumi responded with strength. She didn't hide. She kept releasing albums, kept touring, kept speaking her truth. In 2019, she shocked fans again, this time with joy. She gave birth to a son, and she kept the identity of the father private. Suddenly, she was no longer just a J-pop icon. She was a mother, a woman with a past, a future, and still a microphone in her hand. Chapter 7: A Living Legend. Today, Ayumi Hamasaki is more than just a singer. She's a symbol of persistence, reinvention, and self-expression. She paved the way for many female artists in Japan to take control of their careers. She introduced Western fashion into Japanese pop culture. She proved that a woman can write her own lyrics, make her own decisions, and still sell millions. With over 50 million records sold, she remains the best-selling solo artist in Japanese music history. Even though her hearing will never return, her voice and her message continue to echo. English learning section. Grammar and vocabulary. 1. Present perfect versus past simple. She has sold over 50 million records. Present perfect because the impact of her sales is still true today. She released her debut album in 1999. Past simple because it's a specific past event. Example practice. I have seen Ayumi's concert. She released her latest song last year. 2. Vocabulary for emotions. Lonely, determined, rebellious, misunderstood, powerful, survivor. Example sentence. Ayumi felt misunderstood, but she turned that pain into music. 3. Using even though versus because. Even though she was deaf in one ear, she continued performing. She became famous because of her unique lyrics. Try this. Write your own sentence. Even though final words. Ayumi Hamasaki's story teaches us not only about music, but about courage. She reminds us that even when life goes quiet, we can still find a way to sing. And while you listen to her story, I hope you learned some English too. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to turn on subtitles in your language. Like and subscribe for more English learning stories. See you next time.